Welcome in, welcome in. So glad you guys are here. Happy Wednesday. Happy 4th of July week. And so I guess I will share my screen. Awesome. So today we're going to be talking all things travel. Does anybody have any questions or exciting shares they want to share before I dive into the topic today? Got a lot of new people today, so I will, if you have any questions, go ahead and unmute, or you can save them to the end, but if I'm in the middle of something, go ahead and unmute. It's a small group. It's holiday week, so they're typically more quiet, so we just have a small group today. So today we got I usually like to put some kind of funny, either a meme or a joke or something on the weekly Lunch and Learns. But today we're going to talk about what to do before you go on your trip. We'll also talk about the foods, what you can eat on the way in your planes, trains, automobiles. Once you get there, the foods, how to manage all of that. We'll go into some more food hacks and tips. We'll go over some exercise while you're on the road and balance. And then, of course, as always, we will have Q&A. But like I said, feel free to unmute and ask me right in the middle of the slide is fine. So I got some shout outs today. We've got Talia, who's down 19 pounds, and she is no longer pre-diabetic, which is a huge thing. She just changed the trajectory of her life, and she's going on a right path. And so I'm super excited for you, Talia. I don't know if you're on the call today. Doesn't look like you are. Tali's usually on these calls, so I'm sure that's helped too. Cynthia, down 22 pounds. Congratulations to you. Charlotte, down 16 pounds, and she's very consistent. She suits up and she shows up. So congratulations to you, Charlotte. Dyson is down 20 pounds in her first month, and this woman has some obstacles. So she's doesn't have an easy way of it, but she's doing it. So Dyson, congratulations to you. And Erin is down 18 pounds. So congratulations to Erin. I do want to have some shout outs and welcomes. We've got Angela, Rosella, Lisa, Regina, John, Mercy, Deanne, Jane, Catherine, Shelley, Andrea, Pascal, Mia, and Teresa. So welcome to you all. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I touched a bit on this on Monday, but stuff to do before you go is load up your phone or your device, your tablet, whatever you use. Get the books on tape that you want. Get your podcast all set up. Kind of get that organized, or your Kindle if you prefer Kindle. If you're flying, you can certainly sit and read. So set that up. But get those books loaded up with some good intention. I know a lot of us would go on vacation and we sort of get out of our routines and we get out of our rhythm of doing our meal prep and doing our exercise and doing the things that we're supposed to do. But by listening to some motivational audiobooks or podcasts or experts or gurus or whoever you love to listen to, the more you do that, the more you keep that motivation going in your head. And I would say even especially on your way home. Because when we get home, we're just kind of reeling with all the wonderful times we had and all the experiences and the excursions and the visiting of family or whatever you did when you were there. But then to get back into our rhythm when we get home can be a bit of a challenge. And I've just seen that over and over and over again. So by setting yourself up mentally for the win, listening to some of these motivation or health and wellness experts, it helps you get or stay excited. staying excited during the time you're there, so you make good choices while you're there, but also on the way home. So you're excited to get back on track and back into your routines, and you'll want to do those things more. And like I've always said, what you feed your mind is as important as what you feed your body. So if we're filling it up with the good stuff, keeping ourselves motivated, it'll be a lot easier to get back on track once we get back home. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want a list of people that I recommend, either personal development, motivational, or health and wellness experts, I have a whole list for you. Shoot me an email, and then I can respond to that email with the attachment. So I got a list. If you're not sure where to start, just ask me for the list and I can get that to you. All right. All right, so next up, ordering your snacks online. We get so caught up in, we're so excited about the trip, and we're packing and we're looking up excursions, and we're really just getting excited about the whole thing. And all of a sudden we're getting ready to get on the road. It's like, I don't have time to go shopping. I don't have time to look for prepackaged little snack foods. So ordering your snacks online in advance, do it 2 weeks in advance. A lot of these things are individually packaged, so they're not going to go bad in a week or two. So if you get that done early, because you know how it goes, at the last minute, you're scrambling and you got to pack this and do all that last minute stuff, getting your pets squared away and get your house squared away and get everything ready to go. The last thing you have time to do is getting snacks. And if you get yourself at the mercy of gas station food or fast food or airport food or all of that stuff, you will find yourself going off track really, really, really fast. And I have a whole list of what those snacks are. So again, send me an email, and if you want both the Gurus podcast list and the snack list, just ask me for both. Another thing you want to do before you leave is check out the restaurants that are nearby your hotel, your Airbnb, or wherever you're staying, or maybe it's a family member's house. If you're going to go out to eat, first of all, you want to look up their menu so that you don't have to stress about, oh my gosh, I hope they have something good I can eat. I hope it's going to be, compliant with the program. If you go in advance and look at their menu, you can pick out the 2 or 3 choices. Okay, I've narrowed it down to these 2 or whatever it is. You know what they have. And if they have nothing, go to a different restaurant that's right next door or nearby. And if it's at all possible, you want to get the nearby ones, because that way you can walk to and from your Airbnb or your hotel. And that way you get a few more steps in along the way as well. Also, before you go, you want to map out the grocery store. Even if it's kind of a mart, a smaller grocery store, it doesn't have to be a big supermarket. It could be just a grocery store, so that you know where to pick up some stuff if you have access to a fridge or you cooking utensils, all that. If there's a grocery store nearby, especially if you're flying, you're not going to carry your groceries. If you're driving, you might pack your groceries, but if you're flying, you want to find out where the nearest grocery store, and if it's walking distance, even better. It's the same thing. You're going to get those extra steps in. Also, checking out the activities that are nearby where you're staying. Is there ways to rent bikes? Is there walking tours? What kind of tours are there where you can hopefully be walking? Are there hiking maps or different, just whatever activities you're looking to do, depending on where you're going, of course. If it's a big city, you can get out there and walk the city and check out the city. But if there's actual activities where you're seeing museums or seeing the historical sites, check those out and get those in advance so that you have a way to know that you will be moving your body. Also, if you're staying in a hotel, call in advance or check their website. See if they do have a fitness center. A lot of them have tiny ones with a couple of weights and a treadmill, and some of them have a full-blown, fitness center that you can use. And just find out what's there and what their hours are and what, the availability of it is. And that way you can kind of put it in your plan for the day when you're sort of setting up your day. Okay, we're going to get up, we're going to have breakfast, we'll go get a quick workout in, and then we're going to take that tour. Whatever the case may be. So that way you can kind of put that in on your itinerary in your plan. Another thing you want to look for too is farmers markets. There's no better way to buy local foods, you know, that's going to be likely organic. You're supporting the area, the local farmers, and that way you can have fresh food for your hotel or for your Airbnb. And it's a great way to talk to locals, especially if it's a faraway place and the culture is a little bit different. It's nice to get to know the people that live and work and farm in these kinds of areas. And it's just a great way to get to know the culture and eat the foods that are in that particular area that you might not be able to get at where you live. You also want to find out in advance if your hotel or Airbnb has a refrigerator. Does it have a microwave? Does it have pots and pans? Does it have silverware? Do they have spices in the cabinet? Like at what length? You know, Airbnbs are usually really good for that. Hotels, a lot of times they have some of those things, and they even have it for free if you ask. So if you're asking for a microwave, if you're asking for a refrigerator, likely they can get it to you. Some of the rooms, there might be an upcharge, but you just want to know that in advance. That way, when you go to your grocery store or you go to your farmer's market, you know what you can pick up. If it's needing refrigeration, you know you can do that, and that way it will really help you. So this is some of the things that you can do before you go. Setting yourself up for the win before you go. All right, so some of the airport or car snacks, protein powder. I like, if you can find it, if you can find the protein powder in individual packets. I used to sell them in my store. Many different brands make them. It might not be our brand, but Blue Bonnet makes a good one. And they're clean and naturally sweetened without all the junk in it, grass-fed. But I know they at least they used to make the packets. And that way TSA and the airport's not going to give you problems. Protein bars, again, you can buy those two things online before you go. Same with nut butter packets. Those are easy. They don't need any refrigeration. Those are handy. And of course, nuts and seeds don't come back till after day 30. So if you're brand new, that might not be a thing, but just for future use, keep in mind nut butter packets are great. You know, even putting a little bit of cashew butter or almond butter on an apple just makes it a little bit more fun, and that travels very well. You can buy cut up veggies. You can cut them up yourself, of course, but you can buy them already pre-cut. Sugar-free or no sugar added turkey jerky that needs no refrigeration. So that's helpful. Always bring your refillable water. Because you're going to know how many ounces it holds, and it'll be a way for you to kind of mentally track, because we're excited, we're traveling, everything's new. You know, we got to get on the plane and we got to switch planes, and it's a little bit of some of it's kind of anxiety riding, so we forget to drink our water. And especially going in a plane, it just changes everything. So you want to make sure you stay hydrated, which can help with, you know, brain fog and mental clarity and fatigue, all of that stuff. Just being a little bit dehydrated can cause all of those things. And you want to feel your best. You want to feel your best. So make sure you continue to hydrate. Hard-boiled eggs are good. They do need some refrigeration, but if you grab them in the morning, you've got an early morning flight. If you get to the airport, they'll get through security. You know, you get on the plane, you get settled in, and then you can have your hard-boiled eggs. It's a great protein, great source of protein. So those are helpful. But again, I have a full list of the snacks. If you guys want it, just send me the email. Also, while you're on the road, you're not going to bring your scale, but this is just something you can use, just so you know. And this is just in general anyway, but your fist is about a cup. So when you're guesstimating your calories, if it looks about this much, you know, you got about a cup of vegetables. You want to use your palm. And if you ask me, and those of you who know me and have been coaching with me for a while, I'm usually asking you to bump up your protein. So I would say go bigger than the palm of your hand. And that goes for everybody. So if you're a bigger guy, you're going to go much bigger. So you're going to need more protein than that. So the 3 ounces is about an average woman's hand. 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of fat is about the size of your thumb. The tip of your finger is a teaspoon of oil. 2 cups of, 2 cupped palms is 2/3 cups of rice. So that's too much. If that's how much rice you see, which is very common, just know that's too many carbohydrates. Remember, we want to stick to a 1/2 cup per meal, up to 2 separate meals per day. I know we're not doing cheese, but if you are, a finger is an ounce, and that's plenty. All right, food hacks continued. So bring a shaker bottle and get the kind with the little ball in there, so you don't need a blender. And you can put that in your suitcase or your overnight bag and put other stuff in it, or you could put your packets of protein powder in there and then just pull them out as you use it. But get that one with the little ball in there, because when you shake it up, it breaks up the clumps of powder, and that way you have a good protein source right there. Plus, it's something that you can have right there in your hotel room. Those of you that've been with me for a while have heard me talk about Ticino. That's a wonderful coffee substitute, but it also comes in individual like tea bags, and it's made with herbs and superfood mushrooms. Four Sigmatic has packets too. You want to read your ingredients. I haven't bought that one for a while, so make sure there's no actual coffee in it. I think it is just mushroom coffee. But that way, having a cup of coffee on your vacation, it's a nice treat. And don't forget your stevia packets, because most restaurants usually just have the Equal, which is aspartame, which is chemical, which is bad for your bacteria in your gut, or the Splenda, which is the yellow packets, same thing, bad for your gut. So bring your stevia or monk fruit packets. They travel well. They're not going to spill all over your bag. And that way it makes your Ticino nice if you like it sweet. Another trick is splitting a meal. This is an easy way to save some calories and a few bucks. If it's middle of the day, you're going out for maybe a fancier dinner tonight. So maybe split a meal at lunch or split a meal at breakfast. A lot of those breakfast meals are huge. So if you're getting a big 3-egg omelet or something like that, you can split that, you'll be fine. Or a big salad at lunch, you'll be fine. And then set an intention to eat at least one meal at your hotel or Airbnb where you're staying. You can save a lot of calories, a lot of, restaurants, they do a lot of things to their foods to make them taste good. And I think I shared this yesterday, maybe. I used to work in a restaurant, and it was a fine French restaurant, very high-end restaurant, but they had a wonderful chicken salad. And it was grilled chicken breast on a beautiful mixed green salad with beautiful vegetables and hearts of palm and wonderful Dijon vinaigrette. It was just really wonderful. And I, would always wonder, like, why is that chicken so moist? How does chicken breast from a grill be so moist? Well, I happen to know they fried it in oil first. And then when you ordered it, they threw it on the grill to get those black lines on there and then cut it up and put it on the salad. So eating, one meal in will save you some money. It'll, save you probably a lot of calories and a lot of the bad oils. So just setting that intention. And if you are going to go off track, and obviously if you're new, the first 6 to 8 weeks, it's kind of critical to not cheat. However, this is just in general, if you're going to like another country has a really strong, juicy, good, interesting culture or different types of foods, don't just get an ice cream cone. We can go down the street, we can go to McDonald's and get an ice cream cone. No, if you're in Italy, get the gelato. and just, once in a blue moon going off, but get the thing that you can't get at home. That way, you enjoy it, you feel good about it, you went all the way across the world to try it, but it's not something you can get, so you're not going to be stuck on it and kind of having an addiction to it where it's, oh, I got to have that every week. Get the stuff that you can't get normally, because that's what travel's all about anyway, right? To experience what that part of the world is doing and eating and how they live. All right, so next up, road trip. Number 4, getting your body moving. So number 1, just keep in mind, you're not trying to get in shape, you're just trying to stay in shape. So even if you call ahead and you find out that your hotel has a fitness center, you don't have to go down there for a whole hour and a half, lifting all the weights, doing all the body parts, doing all the things. You just want to get in there and do something that keeps your body moving, or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's just walking the perimeter of the resort. That can be a couple of miles. But again, you're not trying to get in shape, you're just trying to stay in shape. So don't beat yourself up for not spending a boatload of time on your exercise. YouTube videos are a great thing to follow. They have a lot of short ones. They have 10-minute and 15-minute yogas. I do those all the time. You can do those in your hotel room or in your Airbnb, but it's free and you can get it right from your phone. And there's plenty of things that you can do with just your own body weight. So if you go to YouTube, you can just put in body weight exercises and see what comes up. And if it's the right amount of time, then click on that one and see if that one works for you. But that's an easy peasy thing you can do if you don't know what to do on your own. Resistance bands, they travel well, they weigh almost nothing. They don't take any room in your suitcase. So if you go to YouTube, you can do a resistance band exercise. Once you guys get to module 5 in the course, that's the only piece of equipment that I recommend that you get. Everything else is body weight exercises, and it's all from home. So resistance band, and they offer the ability to get harder and harder if you want to. Just add more bands, and so they get more resistant. But they travel well. Again, walk outside and explore. You can walk the resort if you're staying in a resort. Most resorts, if it's called a resort, are usually very beautiful. They usually have beautiful plants and flowers and just beautiful landscaping. And that in and of itself, to me, would feel very relaxing. And just seeing, if you're in Hawaii, looking at the pineapple plants and wherever you're at, checking out and exploring. If you're in a big city, walk the streets as long as it's a safe city, but get outside and walk and explore. It's the best way to see a city or a town or an area rather than driving by on a bus. There it is. So skip the bus tour. Maybe there's bike tours. See if you can find out, this is something you want to do ahead of time as well. Find out some of your excursions, what you can do. Obviously bus tours are great, but if there's a walking tour that you can also kind of experience the same thing, go for that, or go for one of those pedal carts. Also, this is something you would do before you go as well, is check it out. Does your hotel or Airbnb, or is there places nearby to rent a bike or a kayak or like an ATV? These ATVs, this guy in the middle here with the colored suit, that's a lot of work. It works every single muscle in your body. Paddle boats, those are great. Getting outside, obviously it's July, so we're probably not going to build too many snowmen. But if this information finds you traveling in December, just building up the snowman, you're moving your body, building those snow angels, hiking outside, doing all those things. Also, when you get to, do I have this on there? Nope, let's go back. When you're at the pool, and this has been a tendency for me my whole life, is you go to the pool and you want to lay out and get the sun and get the tan. But I would say get in the pool, move your body. A lot of these these resorts have pool exercises. So find out in advance that too. They have a fun way to do it. A lot of times they have the music piping in, and a couple of times a day they'll have an instructor come out and do an exercise class. And they're usually a lot of fun, and you get to know some of the other people. So don't just sit next to the pool, get in there and play with the kids or hang out with the people that you're with and move your body that way. The water provides a wonderful resistance and can get your heart rate up if you actually swim. So use the pool, not just, appreciate how pretty and sparkling blue it is. All right, next up, road trip number 5, balance. This one you want to be very mindful is to not drink your calories. We're so conditioned to we're on a party, we're on a vacation, we're having cocktails, but be mindful, especially the fruity ones or the creamy ones like a pina colada or Mai Tais. Those, the kinds that automatically come with an umbrella or lots of fruit in them, those are going to be very calorically and sugar infested. So stick with, if you are going to have any alcohol, which obviously we don't recommend, like a vodka soda or a tequila soda, like the white liquor with a little soda. You can throw an orange wedge in there. You can throw a lemon or a lime in there. Long as you're not throwing the juice of the fruit in those drinks. So just be mindful of that. Alternate between, if you have a drink, then make sure you're drinking a complete bottle of water before you have something else. It's just a way to stay balanced because those calories do add up, and it's also very dehydrating. You want to make sure you stay hydrated. The second one, take time to breathe through your meditation. This is why we're on vacation, so that we can chill, so we can relax, because we're always on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go. And we got deadlines, and we got to get to work, and we got to get home from work, and we got traffic, and we got bills that are due, and we got this, and we got that, and we got all these things with deadlines and time limits and all this stuff. You're on vacation. Carve out 5 minutes, just time for yourself, time to breathe. Take time, maybe call it prayer time, whatever you want to call it, but take your time with that and don't leave it out. It's another way to keep your home routines going. If we get completely out of routine, even getting back to our prayer, meditation, or breath work, or whatever we do for our personal self-care, if we even let that go, there's one more thing we got to get back into the habit of doing. So, and this will help you feel good for your vacation. The third one, this one I got from my mother, and she is the queen of this. Recap your day in a journal. So, last week we talked all about spiritual fitness, and I talked about being in gratitude. So journaling all the things that you're grateful for. But when you, at the end of the night, at the end, you're getting in your bed and you're trying to recap your day, like write down the restaurants that you ate at and what you had to eat and the excursions you went on, or the funny thing that happened that day, when you fell into the water and your drink flopped all over and, whatever the thing, those fun little moments that you shared with your loved ones or your family and your friends or whoever, because we tend to forget that stuff. And what's cool about that is if you do that every day, and then you come home and now the vacation's over and you get back to your life, you sort of start to forget all that stuff. But if you pick up that journal in a month from now, a month after you come back from your vacation, you literally get to relive it again. Oh, I forgot about that restaurant. I forgot about falling in the pool or off of my floaty thing and going underwater. Or I forgot about that wonderful restaurant, or I forgot about that situation, whatever it was. It's just a fun way to get to relive your vacation. We spend a lot of time planning it. We spend a lot of money on it. We spend a lot of time looking forward to it. So we might as well put a stamp on it and help us remember it over and over and over again. Also prioritizing staying hydrated. We forget, we're excited, we're in the moment, we've got this thing coming up, we're going to see the show, and we're going to take this hike and go on this excursion. That's why it's important to bring your water bottle. So mine holds 32 ounces. And I know that because it says so, but it's important because I know I need to drink at least 2 of those a day. And so at least it helps me track myself without like being at home tracking every little thing I'm doing like I normally would. We got chat. We are going to an amusement park in a couple weeks. They don't allow outside food, but gonna try to take some snacks. Is it okay to do snacks all day? Park is open 10 a.m. to 9. Yeah, I just would, if you can get a protein in, if that's possible, like a protein bar or the turkey jerky or a protein shake, they'll sell you. I wonder if they would let you have a water bottle or a shaker bottle. I guess it would depend on the park, but you might want to call them or inquire on their website and ask them tell me are on a very specific diet, what is and is not allowed. I think every park's a little different. And I know a lot of people go to like baseball games and sporting events like that, and it's the same thing. All they have is hot dogs and pizza and soda or beer, and we're kind of stuck. So find out, go to their website in advance. That's a great question. But to be honest, I think each park is different and how strict they are with what you can bring. Some parks, like I think Disneyland allows you to bring food in, but I'm not sure. So I think inquiring with the specific park would be the best answer. Great question. So staying hydrated is very, very important. You want to feel good throughout your time. Also, washing your hands frequently. I know we all know this. We all learned it extra hard during COVID. But seems like the only time I ever get sick is when I travel because I'm touching, hand railings where there literally is millions of people every single day touching those handrails that have colds and flus and conditions and all of that sort of stuff. So washing your hands a little bit extra, more than usual, is a huge key. So you don't want to get sick, especially you don't want to get there and start getting sick, for sure. God, what a way to ruin your trip. So washing your hands frequently, highly recommended. Also, getting enough sleep. I know there's lots of stuff going on and there's the nightlife and there's shows, there's dinner shows, and some of them go till midnight. But do your best to get as much sleep as you can, because one of the things that will screw up your immune system is lack of sleep. Nutrition, stress, and lack of sleep. Those are 3 things that will screw up your immune system. So making sure that we do try to eat right as much as we can, and we do get as much sleep as we can. And lastly, taking probiotics. This is really important, and you want to obviously get shelf-stable ones. But those can help with, especially if you go to Mexico, those third world countries where they say don't drink the water, you definitely want to be loading up on your probiotics in those kinds of countries. So yeah, in the chat, she said, snacks, I meant protein bars. Yeah, protein bars. And earlier, like I was saying, those packs of olives or artichoke hearts. You can, veggies, if they let you bring it in. Fats, you can bring nuts. Those travel super well, so you're getting a healthy fat. Yeah, you're gonna have to ask, go to their website and, says, go to contact us and see what they say. And that's, again, something you want to do in advance so you at least know. And if you're going to go off, maybe they do have a chicken sandwich, you can just pull the bun off and have them wrap it in lettuce instead. If they have a chicken sandwich, as an example. If all they have is burgers, then have the beef patty, just not the bread. Do the best you can, really. It's all we can do at that point. But every little thing that you do matters. Everything you do adds up. So if, most of the time we're making good choices, and then we have that, little special treat because it's only in that country or in that city that you can have that thing, treating yourself to a little bit, but doing extracurricular things like getting a massage, instead of making it all about, the highlight is the restaurant and the highlight is the food, which is very, very typical. I'm queen of that for sure. That's the big deal. But go for things like massages or shows, or other excursions that can kind of distract you from everything being just focused around the foods. All right, so my email is coach@drinfantino.com. So if you want the snack list and the Audible podcast list, just email me at that email and I will respond with the attachments. If you are a coaching client and haven't set your first appointment with me yet, your scheduling link is coachtammy.drinfantino.com. And also, for those of you who are new, go to drinfantino.club, and that's where you're going to find all of the replays of these group calls. So I know you guys can't get to all of these calls each week. It's nice if you can come live so you can ask your questions and get them answered immediately. But if you can't get to them live because your job or your schedule or whatever, go to because there it's all organized. It's just in the order in which I posted them. Plus on the left, you can see by topic. So if you want to learn more about label reading or more about the macronutrients or whatever, you can dig in and kind of binge watch some of those group calls and really, really get this stuff in your head. The more you get that in your head, the harder it is to go off track. The more you get it in your head, the easier it is to stay on track. You are literally programming your brain every time you listen to those calls. So just by reading through the book, listening to these calls, going to YouTube and listening to all the other gurus that I mentioned in the list, there's so much good information out there. We just got to get it in our head. And that's how it gets harder and harder and harder to eat the bad stuff. Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
It's great. Yes, Shauna.
What do you recommend? Do you have like something that you recommend to test our blood sugar and our blood pressure?
Well, blood pressure cuffs you can easily buy at any, like, pharmacy store, like even like a Target or like a CVS or a Walgreens or Walmart, I would
Blood
imagine.
pressure cup?
Cuff, yeah. And they have the wrist ones, but I think the ones that go around your arm are more accurate.
Okay.
And
then
the blood sugar, I
sugar?
really don't know. I would ask my nearest pharmacy and ask them.
Okay.
Great questions.
And then should we buy a scale? So I don't even own a scale, but I'm gonna go buy one. Should we get one that does our body mass index?
I really don't care about body mass index. What I do care about is body fat.
Okay.
And there's a lot of scales out there that will measure that. And a lot of them have an app that goes with it. So once you download the app and you can, like if you have 5 people in your family, you can label person number 1, person number 2, person number 3, or I guess probably give yourselves names. I'm not sure how that works. But body fat is what you want to know.
Okay.
Body mass index doesn't take into consideration how much muscle you have. And my best example is I had an ex-boyfriend years ago. He was a bodybuilder. He had very little body fat. You couldn't pinch an inch on that guy. But he was considered obese because he was too heavy for his height.
Oh my goodness.
But he was all
funny.
muscle. So to me, we want to know what is your percentage of body fat, because that's either the healthy or the unhealthy piece. Because he was like 250 pounds and 6'2", but that's too heavy for, standard average American. Well, yeah, but he literally looked like a cartoon.
Okay, so
I got used to it real fast,
fat.
but he did look like a cartoon.
That's
but it's not an average guy. So, but the body fat is what we want to know, and we want that to be in a healthy range.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
One of the ones one of my clients recommended is Renpho. I don't remember if if it's pH, Renpho, pH, or F. Try either one when you look it up. But she said it was really cool because they also have like a food app where you can log your food and it counts your calories for you. So if you wanted to use that instead of handwriting or whatever, you can do that.
It's
But
a pH. I have one of those scales. It's really nice.
oh, who said that? Thank you for
Sorry,
sharing.
it's Beth.
Oh, thank you so
So
much.
RENPHO.
Yep, and I got mine on Amazon.
Awesome.
Yeah, the
We've
one
never
lady,
owned a scale, but it's time.
well, like they say, you can't manage anything you're not tracking.
No, you can't. And when I went to my dentist and I go to a holistic dentist and so they weigh you and all that stuff. I was like, oh my goodness, I have no idea when I started weighing 140. I don't know how that happened. So it's probably a good idea to hold myself accountable and weigh myself sometimes,
And what's good about having a body fat analyzer as well within the scale is sometimes the number on the scale doesn't move. And then people get into that place of disappointment. But if the body fat is moving, that's the most important piece anyway, because that's how we look. And then, of course, there's the circumference or your inches. So you want to get your starting inches before you begin.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna do
good if
that.
you have a body fat scale, so you have your starting body fat, and then of course your starting body weight. They don't all go away at the same time. The weight stops moving, but then the body fat or the inches will start moving. So if one stops, check the other two, because that's how you're going to know if you're in plateau. If all three stop moving for 2 weeks, that would be the definition of plateau.
Excellent tips. Thanks. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So do you guys all have your information for the snacks and the podcast, coach at drinfantino.com? Also to book your coaching calls, this is the scheduling link. And here at the bottom is the group where all the recordings are housed. So you want to get in there. So I'm going to go ahead and stop share. And anybody else have anything else they want to ask about or share about or concerns coming up? Going once, going twice. I always want to break into song 3 times a lady. I know, don't quit your day job. Well, anyway, thank you guys for joining today. I appreciate your participation and just being here. That's great. I love that. So if you are traveling this week, have a safe, fun, healthy trip. And I will hopefully see you guys all really, really soon. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.